It's right here.
Let it roll. Good evening, everybody.
What number are we thinking of? 69, dudes!
Okay, so I had Autumnsbane in the background singing the violin concerto with the sound we just heard. I am Blacklace. This is A Worthy Opponent, the podcast dedicated to the Hearthstone game from Blizzard. And we are casual, and we are casual turn 69. Go ahead. Go ahead, Autumnsbane.
69, dude.
Yeah. So, we do not have a Mick Mack tonight because we scared him away.
He's fired.
We figured it was episode 69, he would be a third wheel, but actually it's his birthday, so happy birthday, Mick Mack.
Happy birthday, Mick Mack, you slacker.
He said he might be on the show later tonight, but I'm not gonna expect him to show up, and if he does show up, I might just yell at him because it's his birthday. I'm not going to yell at him because it's his birthday. I'm going to yell at him because he should be playing and partying.
But all you people who tune in to listen to Mick Mack, you can hang up now.
Yeah, because it's just us. Like we used to be. A long time ago.
Like in the old days.
Long time ago.
You want to know something?
I do.
Mal'Ganis doesn't like being betrayed. So if you discard him, watch out.
Mal'Ganis.
There you go.
And that would be
Mal'Ganis.
not yes, but not a Mal'Ganis is a legendary.
Legendary.
Thank you. And we're going to be talking about him later.
Cost. Yes.
No, we'll
talk about him later. He's a very bad dude, Mal'Ganis.
He is.
Most of what we know about the lore of Warcraft wouldn't have even taken place if it weren't for that dude. So, in any event, we'll talk about him later.
That's giving him a lot of credit.
He was pretty... He screwed Arthas and all the people...
He did? No, Jaina did. Never mind.
No.
Okay.
So, oh, look, there's people in the chat room.
Just to actually stop deviating and getting to what people really want to hear, which is to say stuff about Hearthstone. We have some news tonight. We have a lot of news tonight.
Big news. Huge news.
Huge, but before we
get
into
the biggest news ever, like since the last big news.
Right. But before we get to the big news, I do want to mention anybody who wants a good read about Hearthstone cards, in the Hearthstone chat, this week is dedicated to golden cards, and the artist who does most of the golden cards, I'm not sure if he does all of them, did a big write-up in Hearthstone chat about the golden cards. There are samples shown, as well as things that can go wrong with them, like some of them, if the animation was way too fast, it could be very, very distracting while you're playing. So it's a good read. Find it. Read it. It's fun. It's got some of the animations that you may not have seen. Just a little bit of trivia to read. It's good. It's fun. Read it. On the other trivia, this isn't trivia. This is important. We were kidding around about gossip and talking about gossip and realized that we got sucked into gossip. And one of our listeners I don't think he did it to take us to task, But I'm taking it that we were taken to task, and with good reason. I want to thank Coldrun for an email he sent me. He's hello AWO. I've been a bit behind on podcasts, so you may have already addressed this, but I heard you start to go on about Magic Amy based on Kriparian's video. I hope you by now have seen the video from Reynad, the guy who actually did the investigation and found nothing. And there is a YouTube
video.
Yes, Reynad on Magic Amy, that people might want to look at. I'm going to apologize. I know we didn't really blast her at all. We were just like in the,
No.
oh wow, are you serious?
Mick Mack was very careful to say all throughout his reporting that this is stuff that he heard. That
Right.
there was that he didn't come up with anything hard against her, and repeated to say that he liked her. So we didn't really say anything
Correct.
bad about her.
We
but
didn't.
we did perpetuate.
We learned a lesson.
Yes, we did
perpetuated
perpetuate the
a
story
rumor.
only because it's news, and news is not always the truth. It's
So
still news.
basically, yeah,
So,
what Reynad
go
was
ahead.
able to find out, what he was able to find out was the only thing she seemed to do, which isn't even a wrong thing, is she used her boyfriend's email for her Skype. And because she used her boyfriend's email for Skype, somehow this got all blown out of proportion that her boyfriend was doing her gaming for her or whatever. Not the case. Amy did her own thing. She's a good player. She was a good player. The saddest thing about this entire story, last I heard, and again, things change, is she quit Hearthstone because of this bullshit. And that makes me sad. There aren't enough female gamers to begin with. For someone so good to be so
Female role
hurt.
models.
Yeah, but I mean, think about how hurt she must have been that this whole thing even came to pass. I feel for her. I would have loved to have her on the show. Autumnsbane said, hey, we should get her on the show. And this was before we found out that she had actually quit. And we would have loved to, send her a message to say, hey, would you want to be on our podcast? Now I don't think it would be appropriate to, but I would have loved to have had her on. So anyway, Amy, on behalf of the podcasters and people who perpetuated that, I want to apologize, because that's just sad. And I'm not expecting that she actually listens to our podcast, but if she does, start playing again, because yeah, let's have some female role models out there.
Well, I doubt she would if she stopped playing.
Right, she wouldn't be listening to her. But somebody who hears us talking about her, I don't know. Coldrun, thank you for sending us that email and sending us that YouTube video, which I did watch from one to the other and then watched half of it again. And that's all I have to say on the matter. It's just very sad that the community could do that to somebody, because really, why did anybody have the right to bring this poor girl out and put her life under a microscope? Not cool.
Well, true. It's not cool, but when you put yourself out there, you're going to put yourself under a microscope. It's, anything you do, you're going to stream, you're going to podcast, you're going to do Twitch stuff. You become, however minor, to some degree, you're a celebrity. And being a celebrity means you have a target on your head. So
Yep.
It's something you do have to get used to. But, I belong to something that was very important to me once upon a time, and some bad stuff happened and I quit altogether because, something that starts out being really fun and you end up associating it with stuff that's not fun, you just want to cut loose from it. So I get why she announced that she's leaving the game, but maybe she'll come back.
I hope so. But anyway, that is what I wanted to say tonight. I thought it was important to bring that up. The real big news of the night, news of the week, news of the month. The next expansion has been declared, announced. That's a good word.
But not an expansion.
Another
standalone play.
Second adventure mode.
There you go.
It's
Another
the adventure
Nax.
mode. Yep. It's the next Nax.
What do you think?
I am conflicted. I'm kind of excited because, yay, new cards and new content and a really rocking game board that they're going to release. Kind of
Rocking?
tired.
Like
Rocking, yes.
lava rocks?
Lava rock. Like a Blackrock. I'm kind of, again, because we play so much Warcraft, I'm kind of had enough of Blackrock Mountain, but I still think it was a great raid, and the bosses are awesome. So I am looking forward to it. I got my little bit of unhappiness with Blizzard right now on the fact that it's, of course, they've got the wings that are, I think, I'll go through it. Pre-order
wings.
starts on March 19th. There are 5 wings for a total of $24.99 if you want to get them, or individual wings for $6.99 or 700 gold. Unlike Nax, the first wing this time is not free, so you have to pay for it, whether it's gold or cash. Pre-ordering Blackrock Mountain will earn you the exclusive card back. That's the thing that bothers me. And doesn't bother me. I'm not sure how I feel about that. One is that if you're planning on playing for gold, it's like Blizzard's just saying, playing. It's like Blizzard is saying, we actually know it's a free game, but we want you to buy this, so we're going to entice you to buy it, because if you buy it, we'll give you a card back. If not, tough toodles. So
yeah, the greed monster has reared its ugly head.
Yeah, $25 for a card back.
Well, it's not just that. It's not only making us pay money to get a stupid card back.
It's not a stupid card back. I think it could be awesome with the animation.
Well, card backs in general, some people think are stupid.
Some people
anyway.
don't even play them, yes.
But it's not only that you have to pay money in advance, sight unseen, to get the card back. It's that they're not giving us the first wing of 5 for free, like they did last time.
Right.
So I think the days of getting stuff for free from them are done. I think from here on in, they're setting a precedent. Everything you do from now on, you're going to pay for.
Yeah.
And it bothers me a little, because, first of all, I think it's great advertising to say, here's the first one free. You might bring people back to the game who were otherwise not playing to try the free content, and if they like it, buy the rest. But nope, none of that this time, and that I think is a little disappointing.
Yeah, I'm still saving my gold. I've got a little over 2,000 some odd hundred that I'm saving towards it, which I really would like to be putting towards Goblin cards still, because my RNG doesn't really give me that much of an assortment. I did read a couple of comments on the not the blog, but the announcement. One person said that he was going to buy the wings with cash and play 23 arena runs, meaning the gold he would spend for 23 arena runs, he's going to spend for 23 arena runs, and then he'll just buy the wings for cash. Somebody else said 700 gold for each of the 5 wings is worth 35 card packs. $20 gets you 15 packs, so $25 would roughly be worth 18 packs. Why not buy Blackrock Mountain with cash, get the exclusive card back, and then spend 3,500 gold on expanding the rest of your collection with packs or arena runs? Interesting way of looking at it. I kind of agree with him, but I'm OCD. I want the card back. But yeah, conflicted.
Yeah,
very.
And for people with the collector bug, if you miss your chance, then that's it. It's gone for good.
Exactly.
I mean,
because it's a pre-order. It's not like whenever you buy all the wings, they're gonna give you this card back. It's pre-order only.
Yeah. So with the exception of the legend card back and the heroic Nax, because we never finished that, and the club membership card back. Yeah, with the exception of those, we've gotten them all, including the Warlords of Draenor Collector's Edition from the Warcraft game. So we pretty much have everything out there. Chances are we won't get this one, because we're not going to spend the money for it.
Yeah. And I kind of like it, I have to say. I kind of like it.
I mean, we may break
The-
down and spend the money, and I think that's what they're hoping. I think they're hoping that
Exactly.
all the people who are on the fence or saying, no, I'll just spend gold, are going to last minute change their mind and spend it. I don't know
And that's
where
where the
this
greed
this
monster
greed is coming
yeah.
from. Blizzard is not typically so greedy about this stuff where Hearthstone is concerned. They've given us treats before, and to turn around and say Hearthstone can be played either by accumulating gold or by spending cash, and then turning around and saying, no, 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 it's only for spending cash. That's kind of a reversal of what they've been saying all along. And I know that they're in it to make money, that this is a
I mean, they have
money-making
to be.
thing, and we have spent plenty of
Hmm.
money. This is almost a slap in the face.
Yeah, I agree. There are people out there too that are at this point saying that this is basically putting that nail in the coffin of the play to win.
Pay to win.
Pay to win. I'm sorry. That this right here is confirming you want to get these cards, you got to pay for them. It's a pay to win game. So, I don't know. I'm a little
Yeah,
sad.
and I'm not particularly happy about the card back, but anybody who listened last turn understands my feelings on this whole lava rock, black rock molten core theme. That's just overkill, but I like the whole thing. The announcement is a good announcement. The fact that there's another adventure is a good thing. New content is a good thing because some people are already getting bored with Goblins versus Gnomes. It's all good. Everything about this is good in that it's going to bring more things for players to do. I just don't like the way they're implementing it in terms of the price point.
Um, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I really am flip flopping. One other person says, "Gotta love Hearthstone. Either have
Is this from the
3,500 gold."
forum?
Yeah, either have 3,500 gold. I still don't have the Nax adventures, or spend a bunch of money. If you don't spend the money, you can't get these cards. Period. They don't drop out of any packs, and they can't be obtained otherwise. Um, Now, in defense of Blizzard, okay, it's not really hard to get the money to buy the wings, and that is
You
I
mean the
can do
gold
it.
or
The
the
gold,
cash?
the gold. I'm
You
sorry.
said money.
I did. It's not hard to get the gold. Just do your dailies. I mean, you can get one daily is going to give you 60. They add up quick. You win 3 games in a row because you're doing your dailies. You're going to get an extra 10. So it does add up quickly. My problem is not so much that I'm going to have to spend 3,500 gold. I'm all for that. I'm good with that. I'm willing to do that. The sadness comes that if I want that card back, that's when I have to actually pay to win the card back.
Yeah, but
So
it's
I'm not saying,
cosmetic. It's
it
not going to
is.
win you a game.
And that's the OCD-ness of me.
Right. So anybody who wants all of the sparklies has to spend cash.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way it is. And as I said, it's a departure. It didn't used to be that way.
Yep. Ringo's spending his gold because basically he never gets legendaries from packs anymore anyway. So he's just going to spend gold rather than spend it on packs because the packs haven't been nice to him. And I agree with him. As I said, that RNG for some reason, especially with the Goblins versus Gnomes, seems to be off.
Well, Mick Mack had some good luck with it, but I've had terrible luck. The only legendaries I have gotten in packs are legendaries that I probably will never use. That's
See,
kind of sad.
one way or another, we're definitely getting the expansion, or excuse me, the adventure. And I'm not. I don't want to come across wrong. I understand that Blizzard needs to make money. I do, but I'm gonna probably be buying more packs anyway. And this is supposed to be a free-to-play game. I want my card back. That's all.
Well, that's the thing. What I don't like about spending the cash is, what if the experience, the play experience of the adventure, totally sucks? then essentially you're spending, what is it, $35?
25.
$25 for what? 30 cards? What did
It's
they say? 31 new cards.
31 new cards will be added. So
So
$25 for
almost
31 cards.
Yeah, so I don't know, roughly what, 75 cents, 80 cents a card?
$25 for a card back.
Yeah,
I am debating it. I've got to admit, I am debating it, but I'm just kind of miffed that I have to do that. With Next, we got a card back for doing regular, and then they got the heroic card back, which was nice. This, it seems, the only card back you're going to get is if you pay money.
Yeah, and they haven't
Because
said
some of us
if
do
you're going to get
collect the
anything.
card backs.
They'll have a heroic mode. They said that, but what are you going to get for the heroic mode? Are they going to give us a card back? I doubt it, because you're getting a card back for the pre-order. I don't know.
To be continued.
There's a Molten Core card back that comes at the end of this season, so that's not from the game.
No. Chat room saying there is a heroic card back.
A heroic card, okay.
Yeah.
So there's not a regular one, there's just a heroic and a pre-order one. So you don't really get anything for free with this unless you beat the heroic.
Yep. And,
Actually,
yeah, Orange Lizard, I just have to say something to somebody in the chat room. I'm not crying about it. I'm just saying that I actually like artwork, and I like the idea of being able to choose card backs. I understand, but again, it's a casual podcast. We like playing the game for fun. Yes, the cards are free that influence the game. It's actually free. But if you want to go this step further for the other stuff, then you do have to pay for it. And that's what we're talking about.
yeah, and actually, I think the Nax card back was a seasonal card too. So it was just the Nax heroic card that you had to get.
Right.
So I'm correcting myself on that. Now that the memory is kicking in.
Because it's so hard to get the memory working. So what else did you... we're not going to talk about the cards yet for Blackrock Mountain, because we're still talking about the Goblins versus Gnomes.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Shall we continue there?
Sure.
Without Mick
Did you
Mack?
have anything else to announce?
No, there's no Mick Mack to bounce these off of.
Yeah, so
He is missed.
We'll get to describing all of the cards from the new expansion. What I've seen, just your first impressions without going into all the different cards. What you've seen of the Blackrock Mountain cards, what do you think? Dragons are certainly going to be a thing again.
I love dragons. I'm thinking a lot of the cards are high cost, but that just might be what the ones that they're showing us right now. They haven't really shown us a lot of cards, and they're higher casting costs, but they've only shown us about 4 or 5 cards at 31, so it's too soon to actually say anything. I'm all about dragons, though.
Yep. And I was joking with Mick Mack. I said, oh, they're going to have an expansion based on 9 casting cost cards. Because most of the dragons are up around that much. They showed one other dragon that's not a legendary that was a 6 or something.
Well, there's a 4. There's a 4 casting
4.
cost. It's the Hungry Dragon is 4. And I gotta say, they had the lower cards too. They did show us a 3 casting cost.
Yeah,
I
so
just
dragons,
want to see all the cards released.
dragons and battle cry, but yeah, once we see more of them, we'll have a more informed opinion.
Yeah. The battle cries again are going to be different, but they are battle cries. They're not like the. I haven't seen anything new really. Like we had the mechs. Mechs were new, things like that. So the theme is going to stay constant. Maybe that's what they're going to do with the adventures. Have the basic theme still the same, and then when they turn over and do an actual expansion, they'll throw something new, like they did this time with the mechs.
Mm-hmm. So, Warlock cards.
Warlock cards.
You want to go first?
I do, and I told everybody a couple weeks ago I started playing the Warlock just for fun. I think I had one of those win 5 with either a priest or a Warlock, and I decided to do the Warlock mech deck. I haven't stopped playing it as my main deck since I created it. It is just so much fun. It really is. I'm having a blast playing the Warlock. Excuse the pun. Okay, so 2 casting cost, Dark Bomb. Very simple, deal 3 damage.
Are you using it in your Warlock deck? Are you
No,
liking
I'm
it?
not. I'm not using it. I've got other things that ping damage all over the place. So I haven't found a need. It's kind of an okay card, but it is common. It's not a thing that jumps out and oh my god, I've got to have it. 3 damage is nice, but 2 casting cost. You can also get usually a creature out for 2 casting costs. That's gonna cause some damage too.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Mage's Frostbolt, although it does 3 damage for 2 mana, but without the freezing effect.
Mm-hmm.
So
And it's fast. It's fast damage that can hit. Your priest throws their cleric down. I mean, boom, she's dead.
Yeah, so it's a little weak compared to similar cards that do similar things, but I think I have one in my current Warlock deck. It's not terrible. Again, it's common, so people who get only a few packs of cards and want to play with some GVG cards in their Warlock deck, it's not a terrible card.
Right. You want to do the next one?
Yeah, and I actually have the next one in gold. It's the only Warlock card I have in gold, at least from this expansion. Mistress of Pain, 2 casting cost. She's a 1/4 demon, so for those demon-centric Warlock decks, there's a demon. Now, its special ability, and it's a rare. Whenever this minion deals damage, restore that much health to your hero. At first, I wasn't really too thrilled with this card, because whenever it deals damage, and it only has a 1 attack, but it does have 4 health, so it can stick around a little longer than some. But I've seen some Warlocks use this against me, and they would buff them up and protect them in ways where it actually paid off for them. And I'm not thinking it's one of the best demons in the game, but I think depending on your deck, it could be useful. I have one.
She's definitely good. She's because Warlocks hurt themselves to draw cards. She gives you more of a chance. Again, she's not in my deck, but she's a really decent card because she's going to be healing you because you're hurting yourself. She's giving you health back.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice in theory. I have one in my deck. She hasn't. The times I've played her, she hasn't really helped me much.
Make sure you have the right synergies for her. Things that can buff her.
Well, that's it. So she's come out a couple of times, and all right, I get 1 health back. I get 1 health back. So if I get 1 health per turn, that's not a lot, unless you put stuff on her to make her tougher. And there are a couple of cards that do that, and not just one that destroys her at the end of the turn. But even then, if you put the oh man, I'm forgetting the name of it. But if you put the card that gives you +4/+4 and destroys at the end of the turn, there you go. That's 5, right? So a 1-time 5. So I can see where she'd be useful. I just haven't seen it yet in my deck. So I guess it's just you got to make a deck to make her work. I think she's got potential.
She definitely does. She definitely does. The next one I've got is Implosion. I mean, did I skip one because I just jumped to?
No.
Okay. Implosion is a 4 casting cost. Deal 2 to 4 damage to a minion. Summon a 1/1 imp for each damage dealt. I want to see what you think of this card, Autumnsbane.
I've seen this card used to good effect when played against me, to jump out all these imps and do some damage. I've seen it used to very good effect a couple of times. Although one time somebody played that and then I just unleashed the hounds the next turn and killed them all off. He still did the damage. If you have cards in your deck with synergy for demons, the imps are demons too. So I think it's a good card.
It's an awesome card. I have it in my deck. I have 2 of them in my deck. You hit somebody for 4 points of damage, and then boom, you've got 4/1/1
No,
imps.
you hit them for 4 points of
Right.
damage. I hit them for 2 points of damage.
All right. I hit somebody for 4 points of damage, and suddenly I have 4 +1/+1 imps. Now, let me throw a couple of cards out there with him now. I have a knife juggler out there. All right? He's sitting there on the table. I throw implosion out. It summons 4/1/1 imps. My knife juggler throws 4 knives right then and there. Add to them a direwolf alpha, and they're suddenly on either side of the direwolf are +2/+2 imps. And if you throw out
Just
your
the +2.
right, direwolf alpha. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry, +2/1 imps. But if you throw out your defender of Argus, they're now 2/2 imps with taunt. So yeah, there's a lot of fun that you can have with that. But the most fun I had was I had 2 knife jugglers out at the time that I threw this guy out.
Ouch.
Yeah, there were knives flying everywhere, and I basically cleared the board, and I won because he conceded, because I think he really just got fed up with what was going on. The deck I have has a lot of low, fast creatures, and he's just, I would say this is one of the best cards. I really would, because the synergies that can go with this card are just awesome. Absolutely awesome.
I've seen it used against me enough times to good effect that I'm convinced. I have one, and it's actually in my deck, and I've yet to see it played. It just doesn't come out. But I don't play my Warlock all that often anymore. But haven't gotten to play it. I'm looking forward to the day I do.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough to get 2. So it's just really, really a fun card. You're up next.
The Fell Cannon is a 4 casting cost, 3/5 mech. So this is the first mech we've seen. We've seen the demons, but no mechs. So there are Warlock mechs, and here's one. Fell Cannon is a rare. It's got a 3 attack and 5 health, and its special ability is, at the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to a non-mech minion. I can see that it might be good. I haven't actually played it. I've got 2 of them, but I actually haven't played them. And I don't see a lot of Warlocks playing them. Maybe it's just the randomness of the game.
See them in Outlands.
Yes, you see them in Outlands. Wrong game, though. That's World of Warcraft, not Hearthstone.
Right.
Are you using this? Are you seeing other Warlocks use it?
I don't have it, but I've never seen it used. I'm sure people out there have seen it used. I have not. I don't have it. I think if I did have it, I would probably toss it in my deck, because 3/5 is not a bad card. It's hard to kill. It does take 4 to cast it, but 3/5 is kind of hard to kill. It does its own damage to whoever you want by jumping across and smacking people with your normal round, but at the end of your turn...
No, it's not to whomever you want. It's random.
But it's a creature. So yes, it could be.
Yes, and it has to be a non-mech.
So that's what I'm talking about. But no. That is its power. It's still a 3/5 creature. You can still slam into somebody's 1/3 Voidwalker and kill it. So you still have the ability to use it as a minion, but with the added at the end of your turn, you're dealing 2 damage to a non-mech minion. So it's pretty decent in that. And if you have cards that pump damage, then it may be doing 3 damage to non-mech minions. So I think it's a fairly strong card. I don't have it though.
Yeah, and it does seem strong. I think the 2 damage to a non-mech minion's a little hinky.
Yeah,
But,
but he's still a 3/5 creature.
right. No, I get that. But I wouldn't spend 4 mana for a 3/5 creature just to put out a 3/5 creature. You know, you're spending the mana for the special ability, and I guess the fact that it's a mech. If I was running a mech Warlock deck, which would have to probably be mostly neutral cards because there's only 2 mechs in the Warlock collection, uh, I could see you using that. And again, the potential's there, but eventually, when people stop using mech so much, like maybe after Blackrock Mountain, I think it'll get used less and less. No,
more and
it'll
more.
get used more and more. That's what I meant to say. It'll get used more
Sure.
and more. Absolutely, because then there won't be so many mechs on the table. So I think it has potential. Something about it doesn't thrill me, but
It could
it's.
be,
I don't see it. It's a bad card. Definitely not. I wouldn't dust it or anything.
except that what happens when there are no more mechs on his side?
A non-mech minion.
It doesn't
So
say your opponent's non-mech minion.
Yeah, so I guess it could. But you know Hearthstone and the wording on their cards.
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sure you're right. That it's going to start hurting your own minions. So I guess if you're going to play this, you better make sure that all of your other minions are
so
mechs.
It needs to be a mech deck. Yes, exactly. As long as you're in a mech deck and that's what you've got on your side, you're good.
Yeah,
and as
see,
you said,
like I said, I'm not so sure, but that last part that we kind of overlooked at first probably makes it so I would not play this card. You know me with hurting my own minions.
I would still try it.
Of course you would, because your luck is better than mine.
Demon Heart. I'm not calling you that as a pet name, dear. That's the next card. 5 casting cost. Deal 5 damage to a minion. If it's a friendly demon, give it +5/+5 instead.
So, it's an epic that doesn't suck.
But it's not a minion, and it's 5 casting cost.
Yeah, but +5/+5, and it doesn't go away. It's a double-edged sword. You either boost your own demon, or you do 5 damage to someone. So you're paying a little extra for that versatility. It's almost like a druid card in that respect. So I like it. The fact that it can either hurt or heal, I think is definitely nice. I mean, there's another card that does this for less, right? +2 or +2, right? You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no think so. There's definitely.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the casting cost and...
Demon Fire is 2 casting costs. 2 damage to a minion, or +2/+2 if it's a friendly demon. And again, it's the damage matches the casting cost. So it's either 2 or 5. You've got your choice of both cards. And there's a lot of things you could kill for 5 damage.
Agreed. Or you can give your own demon 5/5, which, yeah, that's nice too.
Yes. So I like it, especially if it's a finishing move. You know, you've got something that's got a 5 attack. He's got 10 left. He's feeling secure. You pop this down on it for the final attack and win, right?
Yeah. I don't have it, so I can't really say. I can't say I'll put it in my deck because I don't have the card.
Well, let's compare it to most of the other epics we've seen in this expansion. It's better than a lot of them. Better than a wee spell stopper.
Yeah, it's a decent card. It is a decent card. It's not my style of card, but it is a good card.
Okay, there's another demon.
A floating
watcher. Kind of cool artwork. It's a 5 casting cost.
It's a common.
4/4 minion. Yes, it's a common. Whenever your hero takes damage on your turn, gain +2/+2. So basically, whenever you do your little life tap thing and take damage, he gets tougher. And I've used him, and I've usually managed to pump him to a 6/6 and once an 8/8 before people just. It's another one of those cards that has a target on it.
Target.
It's like they're
Mhm.
trying to kill this guy quick. They don't want him to grow. So you just
Simply
have
because
to
of your
time it
life
right.
tap.
You have to time it right. So if you're playing him on turn 5, then that's, and you're doing well, then that's great. But if you're playing him late in the game and you're already very low on health, it's dangerous to try to pump him. But there are other spells, I can't think of any off the top of my head, that also damage you. And, I guess it would be useful then too.
Yeah,
So
I'm not
I
sure
like them,
about this one.
especially for a common.
I
You
I
buy
could
one or
see you
two
life
packs.
tapping yourself to death to pump the card up.
Well, only if you're life tapping anyway. He's still a 4/4. Chances are, if he's going to be around for a few turns and you're playing a Warlock, you're going to life tap at least once.
True.
Or
True,
if you're
true.
planning to life tap, if you know you're going to life tap, then you play him that turn or the turn before maybe. But you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I'm picking up what you're throwing down. All right. So anyway, I have him. I don't have him in my deck. He's good. I'm just not sure I would use him. He worries me a little bit because I think he would take my focus away from what I want to do because I'd be focusing on pumping him up when I might want to be doing other things.
I don't know if I had a lag. Did you just say what this card is?
No, I'm still talking about the Floating Watcher.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, are you on the next card?
No, I was still talking about how I think he could be distracting to people like me. All right, so okay, I'll move on to the next card. Anima Golem, 6 casting cost, 9/9 mech. That's big power. However, at the end of each turn, destroy the minion if it's your only one.
This minion.
Yes, you destroy him. He goes poof at the end of your turn if he's the only minion out there. You want to make sure you've got an implosion. I don't know. You want to make sure that you've got a lot of cards out there, a lot of minions out there, where he's going to go bye-bye. But even so, you don't want to cast him alone because you'd never get to attack with him.
Right, so you want to play him
Focus would be
in a
on
full
him.
board.
Yep.
Think
Focus
of all
would
the
be on
Zulok
him.
decks out there.
Yep. Focus would be on him because he's got a target. Try to kill this card because it's going to come over and hit me for 9. So right away, your opponent is going to want to get rid of this card.
But I disagree. I don't think they're going to aim for this card because
true.
he's
They'll
a 9/9.
aim for your minions.
You aim for everything else,
but you still get to go across for 9 before the end of that turn, and you still have a chance to cast more cards during your turn. If they annihilate all your no, it's the end of each turn.
Each turn, correct. So
yes.
The end of your opponent's turn or the end of your turn.
Of your turn. So if your opponent annihilates all your little creatures out there, he goes poofa. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have him. I think, again, I would play him a couple times to see how he does. I haven't seen anybody play him against me.
So the key is to play him when you've got other hard-to-kill minions out there.
Yeah, and taunts.
And then he won't be the only one left.
Right.
Or, other things that are 9/9 or something tough like a Malagos with 12 health that's hard to get rid of.
So he's more an end game, save this to later. Don't just wait until you can cast him. Make sure that you are prepared.
I don't know.
Because you know what Illidan would say.
Getting him out early gives you the advantage. I think that's the key thing about it being only 6 mana. And like I said, there's so many Warlocks that play Zoo style where their board is filled with minions that unless you've got flame strikes and stuff coming against you to clear the board, you're probably going to be okay. Really, he's only got to live 1 or 2 turns to be worth playing.
Right, he does not. He comes across for 9 damage, bam, and if you throw your demon heart on him, He's a 14, no, he's a mech. I'm sorry. He's not a demon. He's a mech.
Yeah, and if you've at the very worst, your opponent is going to throw 3 or 4 minions at it to kill it, and so
Yeah.
you've cleared the board by death
He's
by golem.
he's actually one card I wish I did have because I would like to try him. I'm not saying he's a great card. He looks to me like he could be a good card. I would love to test him out, but unfortunately I don't have him.
Yep. You know what would be a cool feature for the interface? If you mouse over a card and on hover, it tells you which decks you have it in.
Why don't you post that? Make that suggestion.
Nobody listens to me. Who am I going to make that suggestion to? Blizzard?
Yes!
You see how
And
well
while
they
you're at
listen to us.
Yes, and while you're at it, ask them to be on our show.
No, I'm
Last
done
card.
beating that dead horse.
Last card. Go for it.
The
You
last
already started.
card- Yes. All right. So our friend from the beginning of the show, Mal'Ganis, that's the legendary for the demon, for the warlock. He's got a 9 casting cost. He's a 9 attack, 7 health demon, and his special ability: your other demons have +2/+2. Your hero is immune. This is a rocking legendary. Your hero is immune while he's out there. And your other demons are tougher. I don't have him. I haven't been
This
able to get him in
card-
my hand to play, but I played
right.
against him once, and I think I conceded
Yeah.
like 2 turns later.
You said once, very, very beginning of, we'll call it vanilla Hearthstone. At the very beginning of Hearthstone, before the adventure and the expansion came out, Warlocks didn't really have a lot of demons. You couldn't really make decent demon decks. Now you can. And you throw this guy in.
Nax fixed that problem pretty much.
Yes,
Yep.
Nax fixed that problem. But you throw this guy into a demon deck, and holy shit, you're gonna stomp. He's 9/7 all by himself.
Yeah, and if you got your 4 casting cost Void Caller out there, whose death rattle is put a random demon from your hand into the battlefield, you don't even have to play him. He just pops right
There
out.
he is.
I think
He's an awesome card.
I actually crafted Jiraxis. If I had Mal'Ganis, I would replace Jiraxis with Mal'Ganis. I think Mal'Ganis is far better of the 2 legendaries for Warlocks. This, to me, is the clear winner.
Yeah.
And I always thought Jiraxis was a little overpowered myself, but I just, something about this, maybe it's the lore geek in me who likes to play, would love to play with this arch-villain, but makes the player immune. It's just...
And he's a demon himself.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, again, there's
I
that
like
other
him.
card that we mentioned before. Now you can use your demon heart and make him... It wouldn't happen the same turn, of course, because it's 9 to cast him. It would be the next turn. You would make him a 14-12? Yeah. Not much is going to withstand that. You already got a 14, 12.
Polymorph, Hex.
Oh, yeah, there is that.
Control.
But you know what? I got to tell you, by the time you've hit round, 9 or 10, when you're casting these cards, a lot of mages have used their polymorphs already. So you throw out a bait card. Make sure that if you're playing a shaman or a mage, that you use your bait card. Get them to use up those polymorphs. What you don't want is a priest to grab hold of it. Well, they wouldn't have demons, but they'd have a 9/7 creature, which in and of itself is a decent creature.
Well, this is the type of minion that is what I call a pants wetter. You see him, and you lose control of your bladder. He's just a scary card.
I'm going to put a mat down underneath your desk.
No, I didn't say I did wet my pants. I could see some people might wet their pants.
Oh, he's awesome. He's awesome.
Maybe the person casting him has wet their pants
right?
in a
Exactly.
different way.
I keep looking at my dust saying I've got 1080. He might be the next. I mean, I've been having so much fun with my Warlock lately, and yes, it's a mech Warlock, but
No
I think
rogue?
I
I thought you
haven't
were having
played her.
fun with the
I
rogue.
was, and then I made this, and the mech rogue was fun, and she was having, she was doing really well. But now I have not stopped playing this Warlock anytime I can, any excuse I
This
can to play
is
him.
this is becoming a theme for you. You would not play shaman at first. You hated shaman. You hated
Oh,
everything about
yeah.
the shaman, and then you tried shaman and you fell in love with it, and that became your main for a while. And now
Well,
you're
it's
doing the
still
same thing with
now
the
when all
warlock.
else fails, if I'm having a bad day, I do resort to my shaman. That's all there is to it. I'm saying my fun decks right now are the Warlock mech deck and the Rogue mech deck. Those are my fun decks. Those are my let's play in casual and just, see what happens next. Because they tend to be unpredictable.
Well, this is funny because you once said I would hate to play the warlock because I don't like hurting myself
No,
with
I
the
think you
hero
said that.
ability.
No, you said that.
No, you said that. And then we got a 1-star
See why
review
we have
for
Mick
it.
Mack? He's not here to break this up.
That's right.
We
And
need our
then
marriage
and then
counselor
somebody
back.
gave us a 1-star review because we said that and they thought it was a noobish statement.
Yes,
And now you're playing the warlock
I
full
am.
fury. That's good. I'm glad.
I don't see this happening with the warrior. I
The-
don't know how you're going to sell me on the warrior. I just,
no, the warrior is every game I have played with my warrior in the past 2 weeks has lost. So I've just been ditching the warrior quests unless it's warrior or something else. Today it was warrior or rogue. I played 3 games with my rogue and won all 3 after like losing 10 with my warrior. Warriors for me right now are weak, but I think Mick Mack said last week that warriors are weak right now in the current meta. But the way the game is going, the luck I'm having with my warrior, it's making me not like
aw.
what was once one of my favorite classes to play.
Oh well, Blackrock might change that. You
Yeah,
never know.
well, we'll see. Let's hope the warrior challenge is not as bad as the Nax warrior challenge was.
Hmm. All right, so that's the last card for the Warlock, but what we want to talk about one more thing. Dr. Boom. Dr. Boom has had
Boom.
a lot of crying about overpowered, overpowered, overpowered. So Eric Dodds came out and said they have no plans right now to change Dr. Boom, and they're not looking at it, period. Blizzard feels that Dr. Boom is a great card, but it's not overpowered. Many players in the community don't agree with this. So go ahead and craft your Dr. Booms because he's going to be sticking around for quite some time. He's not getting the nerf back.
Yeah,
Now you had something you wanted to say about the changes to cards that Blizzard does.
This is just opinion, and I'm probably in a very small minority that I see them time and time again nerf cards that I don't think need to be nerfed. That I think over time the game will right itself. And after they nerf these cards, people stop playing them. How often do you see Leroy Jenkins anymore? When's the last time you saw Starving Buzzard? These cards don't get played after they're nerfed because they were good in their original form and the nerfs just neuter them. And so then you turn around and you get a card like Dr. Boom, and I'm not one of the people crying that it's overpowered. I think you do need some powerful cards. It's part of what makes people play collectible card games. They want to play until they can collect or open or craft this powerful card. I get that. And I'm not against it at all. But I do know one thing. I have never played against an opponent who has played a Dr. Boom and won. If that card hits the table, I lose. And it hasn't been a lot of times, but that's just the way, my luck has been running. He hits the table and I'm toast because
Game over.
It's just so good. It really is a good card. And
Yeah.
when we were talking about it and I was saying I didn't think it was all that great, that's because I hadn't faced him much. Now I'm facing him a lot, and every time I do, I'm dead. And that's fine because other cards have done that to me in the past. I'm glad they said they're not going to nerf it because maybe it's a change in their attitude towards nerfs. Maybe they're going to stop nerfing cards because there are very few cards outside of beta. The ones they did in beta are another story. They should have nerfed them, and I'm glad they did. But the post-beta nerfs, and remember, they said they were going to stop nerfing cards after beta closed. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So the post-beta nerfs didn't all need to take place, and all they did was make the cards that got nerfed unplayable. Nobody wants to use them anymore. I mean, somebody in our chat room, I think, said, "Oh, yeah, I dusted my Leroy after the nerf." So, I don't know. A lot of people might be crying about it. I think it's a good decision, but I want them to stand by this decision. I want them to play test in their alpha and beta stages these cards so that they know their strong points and weak points, and then let them stick. Magic the Gathering doesn't turn around and nerf cards. They don't like change the printings on them and come out with weaker cards. They just say, okay, you can't use it in a tournament where we're restricting this card. But there's no such restrictions in Hearthstone. They have the ability, because it's a computer game, to change the stats and nerf it. I'm just not a fan of all the nerfing. So despite the fact that I hate facing Dr. Boom and I always lose to him, he's a potential that I could someday use that overpowered card too. But I like the fact that they're standing firm and saying, no, we're not going to nerf another card. But with the caveat that they continue to do this for other cards in the future.
We'll see, right? Midget in the chat room is saying that most of the time when his Dr. Boom comes out, I'm hoping I'm sorry if it's hers, when actual Dr. Boom gets taken out, he gets taken out, the boom bots are the ones that do the most damage and do the work, unless he pulls his hand. Rewind him.
It's the boom bot.
Bombs.
It's the bombs that do the
bombs
damage.
Are the bomb.
That's what makes him good. And then
exactly.
you get a bonus 7/7 minion, which is pretty awesome. But
and people are afraid
bombs.
to hit the bombs because the bombs go off, and they do a lot of damage.
Yeah, so it is a powerful card, and I don't blame people for saying they think it should be nerfed, but it's too reactionary to every time a card is tough or a deck is tough to say nerf it, nerf it, nerf it. Some things can't be nerfed. They haven't nerfed Zoo because it's an environment. It's not one or two cards that are doing it. They need to stop trying to fix everything. One of the beauties of a game like this, where you customize a deck to play against someone else, one of the beauties is that you just invent this stuff, or you copy stuff, or it grows organically through the community, what they call the meta. You want to see these changes. You don't want to say, oh, that's too good, sorry, we're canceling it out. That strips away some of the fun of it to the people who have made it up the ladder to legendary by using a card that maybe abusively, but they were clever enough to figure it out, or smart enough to copy someone who was clever enough to figure it out. You just got to let the game flow. That's all I'm saying. And this is from a player who loses a lot. So I don't mind getting beaten by a clever deck.
That being said, I want you to try I want to challenge you to a game after this against that Warrior mech deck Warlock mech deck I have. Your best deck against my Warlock mech deck.
Okay.
All right. And anything else to add, because we have reached the hour.
Yeah, I'm off my soapbox.
Mick Mack, you were missed tonight. So we'll be back with the full team next week, folks. You don't have to listen to us go on and on about things. You can find us on Twitter at A Worthy Opponent, and on Monday nights, listen to us live at Twitch TV, Hello Sweet Media. AWOHearthstone@gmail.com is our email address. Please send us more emails. We're starting to run out, and we love talking about you and your emails. Don't forget to send card decks to Mick Mack so he can play with your decks.
There is
and we
at
can
least
talk
one
about
email
it.
we got that we decided to wait for Mick Mack
Yes.
for, so
It's got some information on brain
we'll
dead.
talk about it next week.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
for the person who wrote and didn't hear from us, that you're probably on the waiting list.
It has to do with arenas, and our arena guy is Mick Mack, so we were going to hold off a little bit. Anyway, you can find us on iTunes, download us, or send us reviews. On Facebook, you can find us at AWO Hearthstone. You can find us on Stitcher Satellite Radio, Google Plus, A Worthy Opponent. As usual, a special thanks to Holosuite Media and to Xander for putting up with us and putting us on the air and putting us on everywhere you see us.
Oh, hold it right there for a second. Do we know when the site is getting revamped?
No, but it will be soon.
Xander and his wife are making major changes at Holosuite Media, and I think pretty soon we're going to see an improved website. So
yep,
stop by and pay it a visit in the coming days or weeks.
Yep, getting betterized. Thank you to Awesome City Limits for the theme music that you let us play. And the other thing I wanted to say, I don't know that we thank our listeners enough. Thank you for your support, for being in our chat room, for sending us the emails, for downloading us and listening to us. You guys make this a lot of fun. So I just want to say a special thank you for all of you out there who put up with it and listen to us and like us. Some of you even like us. Amazing. So I am Blacklace. It is way overdue for me to say good night, everybody, and happy hearthing.
See you next week.
Bye.
Guys are really us. What number are we thinking of? 69, dudes!
And that was the sound of the ice cube that I was talking about last week.
We need to make ice.
Thanks for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of A Worthy Opponent, a production of Holosuite Media. Join us next week at Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And be sure to check holosuitemedia.com, iTunes, and Stitcher Satellite Radio for our remastered shows and more. You can follow us on Twitter at Worthy Opponent, or if you have any questions or comments, please send an email to awohearthstone@gmail.com. Welcome to our inn.